And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. You see, there are things you are doing in church today. You don't know that it's actually an opportunity for it to bring a preservation over you and also over your children. It started with Abraham in Genesis chapter 15, where God established a covenant with Abraham. But it didn't stop there. Then when Sarah conceived and had a child, God now enacted a covenant and said, I will establish a covenant with thee, and not only with thee, even with thy seed. You see, when we ask you to serve God, you don't actually know that that is where you are having an agreement of preservation on behalf of your children. Listen to me. I said it with all confidence. None of my child will be wayward. Not because I am good at training children, but because it's a covenant of preservation, that the seed that comes out of my bosom should be preserved. There are things you do. You create a posterity for your children. When we ask you to serve God, we are not saying it because of you. We are saying establish a covenant that we extend to your children. How can my child be an armed robber? It's not possible. It's not possible. Even if he desire to be one, it's too late. Our life has been poured out as a drink unto the Lord. God came himself to kill Moses, but his seed preserved him. Why? Because covenant is involved. He said the seed of the woman shall bruise the head of the serpent. That the seed that comes out of you is a potential danger in the camp of the enemy. We're in church last 2 weeks. Something was happening in the church. The power of God was moving. Do you know who gave me prophecy? My daughter Mori told me her eyes were open, and God began to show her what will happen. In fact, there was a particular day her eyes were open. She was speaking the word of prophecy before I said them. He said, Daddy, when you said there is somebody here, before you could say it, I identified the person and what you are about to say. It was a confirmation. It's a seed that came out of a bosom that is sold out for him. You are compelled to bring out a worthy seed. You are compelled. He said, make the tree good and its fruit shall be good. If you are not serving God, what is coming out of you? When you treat God lackadaisically, what do you think will come out of you? So, covenant does not start and end with you. Covenant extend to generations. So be careful how you toy with life. It's not about you. It's about what is coming out of you. Some of you are risking the life of your children, risking the future of your children, just because of your self-centeredness and selfishness. You are not willing to give yourself to God. How then what is coming out of you will serve God? Give me that scripture again. Sit down, please. After these things, no. The scripture I quoted. Genesis 17. God said to Sarah, God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. The son of covenant, the child of covenant was Isaac. It was because, what is his name? Came out of Isaac, I came out of Abraham. That was Ishmael came out of Abraham. That was why God just said, for the sake that he came out of Abraham, I will make him a nation. That's all. But the child of covenant, the one that God weighed as a reward of service, is Isaac. He said, for Ishmael, anyone can touch, but for your sake, I will preserve him. But for Isaac, it's a no-go area. No negotiation. He's a child of covenant. What are you selling yourself out for? You see, you are serving God because you feel it's necessary. No. Serve God to a point of covenant. Not out of necessity. There are people that no matter what happened, evil cannot come out of their bosom. The Bible says bad waters and good waters cannot come out of the same source. It's either the source is carrying a bad water or the source is carrying a good water. If the source is carrying good water must come out. So you can't corrupt what I carry. You can't corrupt. You needed children. Me, I needed seed. I gave birth to seed because I am a child of covenant. I understand covenant. I was not reprocreating. I was keeping a generation that will carry the mandate of the next. And so I must subject them to covenant. That's why I'm compelling them to start sitting here, even at this early age. So that they will understand that they are not children, they are not born. You know, some of you want to have children that will carry your name. Nonsense. It's only a fool that thinks like that. A true child of covenant is looking for a seed that will affect the next generation. And so what are you introducing them to? You carry 1 million and pay school fees. Then you left them without the house of God. They get first class and end up becoming rogues. Because God is not in them. You see, this tithe you are eating is not about you. You are exposing your family. He that broketh the edge, the serpent will bite. If you are a wife, your husband is eating tithe, is risking your life and your children's life. Tithe is our preservation covenant. It's what preserves us. When Adam couldn't rebuke his wife and she ate the tithe, who lost? Is it his wife? The entire family lost and a generation was missing. He said, eat everything except the one in the middle of the garden. It's a covenant. The other ones are preserved when the one in the middle is preserved. What 20,000 cannot do for you, is it 2,000 that will do it? Why are you fooling yourself? Because one stupid person stands in the internet and talk trash. Check through the scripture. There is nobody that did well in the absence of giving. Nobody. Whatever they are telling you is a deception from the pit of hell. Nobody is looking for your money. I read electrical engineering. If he was, I return and look for work. It's because he asked me to do this as a work. Then when I finish, I close from Shell and I return back home. Don't call me 12 midnight. Because the same way you need rest, I also need rest. So don't call me 2 a.m. Did you hear me? But if I am available 2 a.m., it's because I am a pastor on call. A medical doctor does not go to the bank to work. He works as a medical doctor. He's available 24/7. So are we. If others have lowered the price and have made the work to be stupid, does not mean they are no genuine of God. We are called of God. We did not call ourselves. Look me very well. There's nothing you want to do in this world and prosper that if I do, you will see my back. If you want to do business, if I enter business with you, wallahi, you will not see my back. I will go so far that you'll be looking for me. So it's not that we were stranded. We were not stranded. He called us. He didn't flash us, so he called. In fact, we refused to pick the call. He now put a text message across. So that it can be a reminder. Because I remember when he called me to go to Lagos, I ran to Kano until he appeared to me and said, I will kill you if you don't answer me. So it was not about calling. It was a text message that left us with a reminder. A threatening text message. If you don't go, I will kill you. Who won't die? I wake up in the morning like a madman. Put my things together. I borrowed money. I answered that thing 21 years ago. Up till now, I have not returned the money I borrowed. 1,000 naira. Thank you. 1,000. After 5 years, I couldn't raise 1,000. I returned to the man and said, I beg, I don't forget you. After 5 years, he said, I'll dash you. Are you hearing me? He said, I feel it's also ungodly to eat somebody's sweat and not return. So I went back. It's not like I forgot, though. 5 years, I'm not able to raise 1,000. Oh, Jesus. If some of you know what we went through, forget designer suit you see us wear today. If you check our backs and know the marks that are on our backs and what we had to go through, I won't stop saying it until eternity. I slept in an open compound for 2 years in Lagos. I actually was staying with my uncle. My uncle has 2 rooms, a room and a parlor. He had up to 5 girls that are working with his wife to do mama put. So the 5 girls will lie down in the parlor and spray everywhere. So if I love my life and my salvation, I should look for my way. Because I was also expected to sleep in the same parlor. And I don't want to be doing night vigil every night. You know women, when they lie down on their own, this is how we do like this, this is how we do like this. I said, no, I didn't come to lose my salvation. It's better I sleep outside. I was in an open compound where there is no month without rainfall in Lagos. No month. Every month, whether January there is rainfall, February there is rainfall. So when it's raining, ask me, where do you go? I will stand at the gate of the house and wait on the wall until the rain stops. And mind you, the River State know they see rain. Now Lagos, they see rain from morning till the following morning. You go down, they do tan, tan, tan. He go refuse to go. And Lagosians have made up their mind. Evil rain does not stop them. That is it. See, if you don't prosper if you leave Lagos, and if you stay in Lagos for 7 years, and come to Port Harcourt and you don't prosper, you are stupid. I'm telling you the truth. You are stupid. The aggression of Lagos. Port Harcourt people, they sleep now. By 9 o'clock, the whole shops here are shut down. Everybody is closed. Everybody enter house. Lagos, now that time, 9 life starts. We have 9 crawlers and we have afternoon workers. Taxi people, we get the people from 6 in the morning. That's when they start sleeping. They will sleep from 6 till after 12. Around 2, they will go and look for food. Around 4, they resume. They will walk till 6 in the morning. That's when they resume their work. Taxi people. You can't travel to Lagos and arrive 2 a.m. You want to sleep at the park. Now you like. Because once you come out of once you arrive, you will just see afternoon. It's afternoon. It's you that here that know it's night. It's afternoon. Hey, boss is asking you, where are you going? Taxi man is asking you, where are you going? 2 a.m. Where are you going? And you come to Port Harcourt when everybody is relaxed. Carry the same aggression and approach Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt will open up to you. We came aggressively aggressive. Life has battered us. So we told life it must work here. This is the final bus stop. If you fail here, you return to the village where Ghana must go. You don't need advice to pray. Life will make you pray. You don't need advice to give. Life will make you give. You see, when man is removing his wristwatch and dropping it on the altar and you are laughing, he knows that this is the only exit way to poverty. We've come for meeting. They say offering time, we remove our shoe and drop it on the altar and we trek back with empty leg. Today we have designers on the bookshelf, on the shoe stand. Not because we could afford it, but because what we did yesterday is paying off today. Don't allow anybody to take away that from you. I'm returning to the place of covenant, where everything I do must be secured in agreement. And I told you, covenant goes with instruction. There is no covenant enacted, there is no instruction. For the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 1 verse 8, he said, my son, hear the instruction of your fathers. Covenant is not enacted if instruction is not involved. You see, and if you must prosper in this life, you need the guidelines and the instruction and the covenant of what? Giving. But I want to take you through 3 covenants that brings prosperity in your life. 1, 2, 3, and I'm done. 3 things or 3 instructions under covenant of preservation. 3 instructions that brings preservation in your life. In Job chapter 1, verse 6. I want to give you a background of the conversation. Let me start from verse 1. I want to give you a background of the conversation that went between between God and Satan. The Bible said there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. That man was perfect, upright, and the one that feared God and eschewed evil. What made him perfect? What made him upright? He fears God and eschews evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. He has 10 children. His substance was 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all men of the East. The record they gave there is not true. It's not true. He can't be the greatest of the all men of the East and have only those kind of few resources. Do you know that they did not talk about his kulala? They did not talk about silver and gold. So the record is not complete. They are only talking about the physical sheep they saw and they were counting. And herdsmen have a way. They don't rear their sheep by themselves. Because if you read further, you discover he had company of people that were keeping these things in the forest. So how did they see them and begin to count? It's the ones they saw around the house. Because it can't be greatest of the East. I just have 7,000. How much does it take to buy? Even me, I can buy 7,000 of sheep. And they'll keep them here so I become rich. No. Are you hearing me? That is what physically the Quran says. And the sons went and feasted in their houses. Everyone won his day. And sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. So every day there is a feast. Because everyone has his day. And you are saying it's only 7,000. He has only 7,000 oxen. And every day, first song we celebrate on Monday, second on Tuesday, third, till the last. And when they are celebrating, they will bring their sisters. And their sisters will bring their friends. And they will bring their friends. And they will celebrate every day. So there is no day that there is no celebration. The thing will finish now. But I want to show you a secret. Go on. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered. Somebody say offered. offered burnt sacrifice according to the number of them. Or, for Job said, that it may be that my sons have sinned at the cost of feasting. He's not talking about the one he gives to God because he loves God. He's talking about the one he gives on behalf of his children. Your children will be coming to church. You will not give them offering. Your children will be coming to church. You will not give them anything. When they say time to offering, your children are familiar with lack of giving. You are introducing poverty into the life of your children. Generation. I know, Pastor, come and pray for me. I don't understand this. My child, he has graduated now for 3 years. There is nothing coming. I beg, pray. Nothing is coming out of. Why will anything come? If you manage to give him 5 naira, if you manage to give him 10 naira, if you manage to, he said, without controversy, the less is blessed of the greater. And so what he has is what you gave him is what he learned, and is what he's giving. And he will grow giving 10 naira, 5 naira, 10 naira, 5 naira, even if it's any 1 million in a month. Some of you, very stingy, even with the future of your children. But you take them to good schools. Let school fees come now. You will run from pillar to post looking for money to give school fees. You are training a child that tomorrow will be a problem to you. Have you not wasted? You see, wasted life and wasted destiny is in the hands of our parents. For you that have not born, he has not delivered anybody yet. Begin to learn. I had a son some years ago, very, very intelligent person. He was giving offering for his unborn children. Was giving seed for his unborn children. Many a times when altar calls are called, we tell our children, come out. We are teaching them what it means to make sacrifices, even though it's not coming from their pocket. You can imagine counting 20,000 and putting it in an envelope and giving to a 9-year-old child to stand. And he asks you, mommy, this money, so many like that. Yes, there's nothing that's too big to give God. That's what you are teaching him. You say, we are giving it to pastor. We are giving it to pastor. You see, the issue is that the enemy has so bastardized our mind that we don't understand. We are, okay, can I ask you a question? When you were coming from your house today, where were you coming? Answer me. Where were you coming? To meet who? Who is God? Pastor Silas? So why is it that you believe when you are coming to church, you are meeting God? When you are giving offering, you are giving Pastor Silas? Is it your life? But you believe that you are coming to meet God. Is that not so? You are coming to worship God. Is that not so? But when it comes to offering, it's me. When it comes to worship, it's God. When it comes to offering, it's me. The enemy has so bastardized our mind. Made a lot of us. We don't understand the reason why we serve God anymore. I saw a little girl on the net. A little girl on the net that did something, and I didn't know when tears started coming out of my eyes. You see, some of these things, when I watch them, I ask God, I sometimes ask God, please, why did you call me? Because if this is the kind of insult that goes with this office, why did you call me? You would have left me now. Let me do what I know how to do. Let me tell you the truth. I was in secondary school. I went to a technical college. Before later, I went to a technical secondary school. And you know, in technical college, we were taught that is, if you pick a particular course of line, you start training within that confine. Those days, well, I don't know now. Now they just treat them anyhow. Because you see, a technical, if you go to a technical college, you come out, you can be a technician. You can be a technician, a basic technician. Because you have a basic knowledge. You understand? If somebody reads carpentry, you can be a carpenter, a basic carpenter. If you read electronics, you can be a basic electrical guy. Now, I learned how to fix fans, ceiling fan. Ceiling fan. Now, I grew up in the barracks, and while I was growing up, when I was growing up, I discovered that we moved to a particular location, and so everybody was buying ceiling fan, fixing ceiling fan, and they were looking for technicians that would fix ceiling fan. So I became that technician. So I was filling ceiling fans. I was getting small money. Fix ceiling fan, they gave me, I think, 1 naira or less than a naira or something. Those days, 1 kobo or something. I can't remember. Anyway, they were giving me small money. So I was fixing those things. Then I graduated and started fixing a small transistor radios. I was fixing small transistor radios. The one that you put in your ear to listen to. And, soldiers like news. So they have a lot of transistor radios. So I was fixing them. And they were giving me small money. Then when I finished secondary school, I went to teach in a private school. So I was teaching there. So I was making small money. There was never ever been a dull moment for me. There's never been a moment where I'm just idle, sitting down, waiting for you to feed me. I remember when I was in secondary school, and before those transistor fixing fans and the rest of them, I went to do a Gwaja walk. I've given you a story where I fell from 1-story building, carrying block. I was earning small money. Do you know that when they were fighting Gulf War, they fought Gulf War 28 years ago? 28 years ago, is that also? Gulf War was fought 1990, 28 years ago. So 29 years ago. 29 years ago, for some of you that they don't born now, I was on top of one building we were giving block. A bricklayer. I remember in 1988, Christmas Day, 1988, that's 31 years ago, while boys were looking for girlfriend to go and celebrate Christmas, I was casting one Air Force school in Yola. We were doing casting. We casted it on the 24th. We didn't finish. So we returned on the 25th to complete the job so that they can pay us. So 25th, I was doing Ogbaja. So it's not like we were stranded. And so we were frustrated. All in a bid to go to school. Get to school, finish school. And eventually God called, and we answered God's calling, all in a bid to serve God. And somebody will come and insult you because of one kobo. I was saying something before I went into that. A little girl was on the net, and she gathered some coins. And we're showing it on the net. That these are coins that the father or the mother used to give her to go and give in church. And she will go and give it in church, and when she give it like today, the following day she will see the pastor's children wearing fine clothes. So she decided not to be given. So she has gathered it to also go and buy fine clothes for herself. Funny as it may sound or look, I started crying. Tears came out of my eyes. I said, oh God, why did you call me to do this work? So everything has been reduced and channeled to money. You see, it's not about your money. The Bible says he was laying sacrifice every day for the sake of his children. I'm doing it so that my children's life will not be wasted. I'm doing it for the sake of my children. Was laying sacrifice. You see, be careful what you are saying to yourself. Be careful what you are thinking. You see, a sheep, a cattle on 1,000 hills belong to me. If I were hungry, I wouldn't need your permission. I would have killed to eat. He said, you don't give because I am in need. You are not giving for me. You are giving for your necessity. That fruit may abound unto you. Every giving that Abraham was giving was to preserve posterity for Isaac. Every altar he raised that altar for the sake of Isaac. When you are tithing, you are bringing a preservation, you are bringing a wall, you are building a wall of preservation around your children. Because if the devourer wants to strike, whom is he going to look for? What you value the most. What do you value? Your children. He makes you to spend unnecessarily on them. Let me show you something, maybe before I draw the curtain. Let me show you something. The same Job, please continue. And so when the days, sanctify them, offer sacrifice, and be that my sons have sinned and caused God in their heart, thus did Job did continually. Then verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also amongst them. Then give me the next verse. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Then verse 8. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou not considered my servant Job, that there was none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feared God and eschewed evil? Now, do you know that he was not actually submitting him for him to be tampered with? He was proud of him and talking about him. In your to and fro, have you not met my son? Have you not seen my son? Give me the report of his life. And that is when Satan now answered, does he serve you for nothing? Satan answered the Lord and said, does Job fear God for nothing? He said, has not thou made an edge about him, and about his house, and about all that he had on every side? Hear me. Have you not made an edge about him? Number one. And about his house. Now, first about Job. Second, about his house. And about all that he had on every side. About his goods. About everything that concerns Job. Thou hast blessed the works of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Did you see when I told you they didn't give a good report? He said his substance has what? Increased. If he had 7,000, 7,000 has increased on every side. He said, but since you are that is your consign, put forth thy hand now and touch all that he had, and he will cause thee to thy face. If that is your pride, just touch his substance, touch his job, touch it and see. You see, some of us, it's God that have showcased us. And so when these things come, the enemy want to see whether those are the basement of our decision to serve him. You see, if somebody is complaining, telling you because the reason why I'm not paying tithe is because I'm earning 15,000. How can I earn 15,000 and go and give church 1,500? What did the church do for me? I've been the one working for 30 days. That's the reason why you are working. You are the one working. It's not God that is working for you. Hello? So, he's serving him because of the substance? No. He touched it and everything went. When everything went, what did Job do? Job still stood. So what am I trying to say? When you are under covenant, you bring your house, You bring yourself under protection, you bring your house under protection, and you bring everything that concerns you under protection. And he blesses the works of your hand and causes you to prosper on every side. So one of the areas of instruction of covenant is the area of tithing. One of the areas of the place of covenant is the area of tithing. One of the areas of instruction, the place of covenant, is the area of tithing. Tithing brings your goods under protection and preservation. When they ate the fruit, they lost the garden. Is that not so? When Abraham paid 1/10, when he paid 1/10, he became the God or the what? Give me the book of Genesis 14 from verse 17. Give me Genesis 14 from verse 17. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after he has returned from the slaughter of the Chidolomite, Loma, of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's dell. Then verse 18. The Bible says Melchizedek, the king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine and was the priest of the Most High God. Then verse 19. And he blessed him and said, Blessed be Abraham of the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth. You see, he became the Abraham of the Most High God. He became the possessor of heaven and earth. There was nowhere God declared him to possess heaven and earth. So tithe gives you the privilege that you don't earn from your job. You earn from heaven and earth. I don't know whether you understand me. Your place, your source changes. Your source changes. It becomes a covenant. It's no longer what you earn. It's what heaven can provide. I believe in budget. Is that not so? I believe in budget. I believe in buying what you can afford. But when you risk it with God, he gives you what you can afford. Are you understanding what I'm saying? If we are living by what we can afford, we will not be in this kind of auditorium. We will not be using what we are using. But we risk it. We did business with God. We gave him something. Then he gave us what we can afford. Hello? That's what tithe does to you. It changes your source. It automatically changes your source. You become source in God, not in man. If I love my life, let me end. Stop. Stand your feet. When pastor in the front don't begin to, can you imagine what members we do?